There's a $3 mix sitting in your kitchen right now. It kills every mold species on contact and destroys the roots. It stops regrowth completely for months after one application. Scientists confirmed it eliminates up to 99% of all common household mold species living inside your home, and it has been removed from every major cleaning product label. Not because it ever failed, because it simply worked too well. A solution this cheap cannot be sold in a bottle for $30. A fix this simple cannot bring the same customer back next month. What cannot be owned cannot be turned into perpetual revenue. And what cannot generate profit gets buried from public knowledge. This is the story of the $3 mold killer that a massive $2 billion cleaning industry needs you to never discover. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell to preserve what they tried to erase. This is where we dig up what the outdoor and cleaning industry has buried and spent decades making sure you would never find. Now, 45 million buildings in the United States today currently have unhealthy levels of mold growing inside the walls. That number comes from a study published in the major journal Indoor Air in 2017 by Mudari and Fisk. The same researchers found that 21% of every single asthma case in America is directly attributable to mold exposure and dampness exposure occurring inside the average American home. Not seasonal allergies, not temporary sensitivity. Real asthma, the kind that sends children to the emergency room every year. The CDC and the World Health Organization both confirm this finding. Living in a building with mold increases your measurable risk of developing respiratory disease. Those are their exact words. And yet the real answer has been sitting in your cabinet for decades. This video is only the surface of everything they buried from you. I collected everything the cleaning industry does not want you to know inside the complete Forbidden Camping outdoor vault. Fire techniques that military survival units used and that are now classified as dangerous by all the largest equipment manufacturers. Emergency shelters that cost absolutely nothing and outperform every $200 tent ever sold by the biggest outdoor brands. DIY water filters that professional engineers tested in disbelief. Natural repellents that indigenous tribes mastered centuries ago. And the complete natural cleaning protocols that corporations spent billions keeping permanently off every product label sold. Over 10 guides in one place, no fluff, straight to the point. The link is in the description or scan the code on your screen, but stay here with me. The video is just getting started now. Let us go back together to where this particular story begins. 1928, Alexander Fleming is working deep inside a research laboratory at St. Mary's Hospital in London, England. He notices something completely impossible appearing on a petri dish. A common patch of household mold has spread across the glass surface, but surrounding it, every single colony of bacteria is dead. The mold had produced something that killed everything around it. Fleming names it penicillin. The entire world calls it a miracle. But here is the critical part that every history book leaves out. The families who had been fighting household mold for centuries already understood the exact same biological principle in action. They knew that certain acids actively destroy the cellular wall of fungal organisms when applied in the correct concentration. They knew alkaline environments suffocate mold completely at root. They knew that oxidation breaks down the full molecular structure of airborne mold spores before they can ever find a surface. They did not need a laboratory or a government research grant. They needed only a pantry and 3 generations of observation. In the 1800s, families across rural England actively documented removing mold from stone walls using diluted vinegar. Church records in Somerset from 1842 explicitly describe the washing damp stone with white vinegar and baking powder, not as an experiment of any kind, as standard household protocol. In rural Appalachia, the very same practice appears recorded in handwritten household journals from the 1870s. Women documented combining white vinegar, water, and baking soda to permanently eliminate mold from beams and old cellar walls. It worked every single time for every family that ever used it. The recipe passed freely from mother to daughter for generations. It required no specialized product from any commercial supplier. It required no professional remediation service charging hundreds. It required nothing that could ever be sold, patented, or owned. If you have made it this far, you already know more about mold than 99% of people standing in a hardware aisle. Subscribe and share with someone who needs to remember clearly what the industry made us forget across the last 70 years. Everything the cleaning industry buried is inside the vault. Link in the description or scan the code on your screen now. Stay with me. The next vault we open is the heaviest one yet. By 1950, the entire American cleaning product industry had fully consolidated its market around synthetic chemistry. Bleach became the one universal default answer for everything. Companies like Procter & Gamble invested enormous sums in shelf presence, mass advertising campaigns, and regulatory lobbying. The message was kept simple and hammered into every household. Only laboratory chemicals are powerful enough to protect your home. Your grandmother's methods are dangerous, primitive, ineffective. Trust the product, trust the label, never question either one. And slowly, across 2 full generations, the knowledge vanished. Not because the old methods had stopped working at any point, because they had stopped being taught to anyone at all forever. So what exactly is inside this powerful $3 formula? Let us start with the science that the labels refuse to show. White distilled vinegar is 5 to 8% acetic acid. According to research compiled across multiple peer-reviewed studies, acetic acid penetrates mold directly down to the hyphal structure, the root system that allows mold to anchor and regrow on surfaces. It disrupts the pH environment that the fungus needs to survive. Vinegar alone kills up to 82% of mold species tested in controlled laboratory conditions, including black mold varieties. That data comes from documented cleaning research published and shared across independent home health and environmental science institutions. 82% from a bottle that costs under $2 total. Now add the second ingredient, baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Its pH level sits between 8 and 9 on the alkaline scale. Most mold species survive only in environments below pH 7, meaning only inside the slightly acidic range they prefer to colonize. Baking soda creates conditions chemically hostile to fungal growth. It kills the mold already present and leaves a protective residue that makes regrowth significantly harder for weeks and months after. A 2017 study confirmed baking soda successfully inhibited mildew growth even on organic agricultural surfaces outside. 1 box of baking soda costs approximately $1 at any store. The combination of these 2 ingredients is where the science shifts into something that no major cleaning brand wants printed on a label. Vinegar kills the active mold colonies through direct acid attack. Baking soda simultaneously neutralizes the surface chemistry below, preventing any surviving spores from finding conditions to regrow. Used together correctly, they attack the same problem from 2 sides, and they do it for under $3 in material cost total. This is the part of the story where the numbers become uncomfortable. The global mold inhibitor and cleaning product market is currently valued at $2.2 billion in 2025. That figure comes from SNS Insider Market Research, published in February of 2026 after comprehensive analysis. Those companies include Clorox, Procter & Gamble, Reckitt Benckiser, SC Johnson, and dozens of other household name chemical corporations. Every one of them sells a product for mold and mildew removal. Every one of those products contains synthetic chemical compounds. Every one of them costs between $8 and $40 per bottle. Not one of them performs meaningfully better than vinegar alone on standard non-porous household surfaces in independent testing. You cannot patent white vinegar or control who sells it tomorrow. You cannot build a proprietary baking soda version to own the market. You cannot build customer dependency on something that costs $1. The entire business model of the cleaning product industry depends on selling branded chemistry that you believe only they can produce. Vinegar and baking soda represent everything that model opposes. They are cheap. They are everywhere. They are completely unpatentable. And they work. That is the combination that cannot be tolerated. So instead of the truth, you were taught to buy the orange bottle. You were taught that natural solutions are unreliable and primitive. You were told that professionals use real chemistry, not old remedies. And it worked. The market hit $2 billion confirming that. Here's what you do with the $3 solution right now. Get white distilled vinegar and a clean spray bottle from home. Do not dilute it. Spray the moldy surface completely and let it sit for 1 full hour without touching or disturbing the treated area. During that hour, the acetic acid is penetrating the mold structure and breaking down the cellular wall of every colony on that surface. After 1 hour, scrub the area with a stiff brush until fully clean. Rinse with warm water, then dry the surface as completely as possible. Mix 1/4 tablespoon of baking soda into a cup of clean water. Spray the same surface again with the baking soda solution you made. Let it dry completely without rinsing. Leave the residue in place. The baking soda residue changes the surface pH permanently enough to make regrowth significantly harder for the weeks that follow. 1 treatment, under $3. No fumes, no toxic residue. Safe for children, pets, and every surface it touches without damage. A campsite, a tent, a tarp, a wooden shelter, a cellar wall, a van. The same solution works everywhere. Mold finds moisture to survive. The knowledge did not die out because it stopped being effective. It was buried because effective and cheap cannot coexist profitably. Your great-grandmother knew this. Her grandmother knew it before her. For 100 years, this passed through families at zero cost. Then 50 years of advertising convinced a generation it was wrong. If this video opened a vault for you, subscribe and share it forward. Every share preserves what the industry invested billions to erase. Every person who finds this information is one less customer for them. The link is in the description, or scan the code on your screen now. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is even heavier.